Good afternoon. We are the Group E, and today we will be presenting you a website on global warming. Now, I will let you with my partner Isabella.
Good afternoon, my name is Isabella Santos Sosa and that's my ID. Well, glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, forests are drying up, and fauna and flora are struggling to keep up. It's becoming increasingly clear that humans have caused most of the warming of the past century by emitting gases that trap heat to power our modern life. We call it greenhouse gases, and their levels are getting higher. However, on the matter, it is seen as something normal when it is as far from normal as. Next, I'm going to explain what global warming is called and why its advance is not normal. According to my investigation and my opinion, global warming is defined as the result of many actions carried out by human beings, which cause the Earth to constantly warm up a little more each year. In fact, since 1900, the planet heat has increased by around 0.8 degrees. At the end of the century, however, due to global warming, the rise in temperatures is likely to be around 2 to 5 degrees. A warming of 5 degrees may seem like a non-worrisome problem or issue, but that small amount is similar to the change that the Earth went through after the Ice Age. Yes, the Ice Age, a long time ago. In other words, when the Earth came out of the Ice Age, the planet also warmed about 5 degrees, but it did so in about 5,000 years. Current climate change is forecast to produce the same amount of warming in just 1 century. That's crazy. In technical terms, it is a series of changes in the Earth's climate that vary according to place in the long terms. However, another term that is vital to know to identify the problem and to find the possible solution to this is the greenhouse effect. It is the heating that is generated in the atmosphere when some gases retain heat. In other words, these gases alone like to pass through but retain the heat, similar to the glass walls of the greenhouse. Here's the name. This is a natural process. Our natural greenhouse effect makes life as we know it's possible, but will be explained better later. Now I'm going to explain the difference between two terms that the people usually tend to confuse: global warming and climate change. As you can see in our website, it is related, yes, but there is an important difference, and that is that the global warming is caused of climate change. So simple. This extreme heat is not a normal. Now we'll leave you with my partner Paula. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Paula Hernandez, and I will talk about the causes and consequences of global warming. Here is my ID. Well, I will argue that the main cause of global warming is humans, because we are the ones who cause the phenomena that cause global warming. But being somewhat more specific, some causes are increase in greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are those which contribute to a greater or lesser extent to the increase in the greenhouse effect, because they are capable of absorbing the heat energy that carries the long-wave radiations that are reflected by the Earth's surface. Then we have burning fossil fuels. The burning of fossil fuels leads to higher carbon dioxide emissions. It has doubled in concentration since early 20th century until now, which causes an excess temperature of or global warming that results in climate change. Then we have deforestation of jungles and forests. Deforestation is very important because causes fewer trees to purify the air from gases, which increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the environment, which is a greenhouse gas. Then excessive use of fertilizants. Well, the nitrogen-based fertilizants contribute to the emission of greenhouse gases. Nitrous oxide is the third most important greenhouse gas, behind the carbon dioxide and methane. Agriculture now accounts for 80% of man-made nitrous oxide emissions, which have increased considerably in recent years due to increased use of nitrogenous fertilizants. Then high production of waste. The more waste that we produce in our daily life, the more gases that waste will emit and the more saturated landfills will be, created by a large production of methane and other greenhouse gas. As you can see, most of these are caused by us, but it's time to know the consequence. Some consequences of global warming are melting glaciers. Oceans with higher temperatures are oceans that melt polar ice cap. This means that the sea level is rising. Then we have more dangerous hurricanes. Rising sea temperature makes hurricanes more violent. Stronger heat wave. Global warming from the accelerated burning of deployable fossil fuels have been very intense of the North Pole. And disappear of animal species. Many animal species are seeing their current climate disappear and unable to adapt to change so quickly. And spread of diseases. A temperature change of several degrees can make the temperature zone more welcoming to the spread of certain diseases. This is all for my part. I will leave you with my partner Sebastian. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Paula. How Paula say, I'm Sebastian Martinez, Dionisio Martinez Martinez. That's my name. And I'm talking about the places where global warming affect the most. Okay, global warming is impacting every corner of the planet, taking into account that the regions most affected by the area, those in which industrial activities have caused significant amounts of pollution. In the first in the first place of the places that global warming affect the most, we have the Arctic Circle, which is melting more and more. Most of the animals have to suffer in this area, and one of the animals that suffer the most is the polar bear, thanks to the global warming. The other one is Siberia. Siberia, due to the melting ice, a bacterium that caused a pandemic. Yeah, a pandemic has spread and it is devastating since many people have been affected by this. And we cannot leave behind places like the coastalines that they are located from the Baltic Sea to the Gulf of Mexico. Since here it has almost no oxygen, and thanks to this, thousands of animals and thousands of plants have undergone a devastating change, causing their disappearance. Another one that other people know is the Amazon. In the Amazon, where apart from cutting down, one of the trees began to catch fire thanks to the dry climate, the wind, and the heat that exists at that time. Due to this, fires increased in almost the entire country of Brazil. Finally, we see Bangladesh, which has suffered major floods due to the sequence, how you can see in the photo here. And finally, the other one, the last one, sorry, is Oceania, which for me is one of the most devastating droughts, floods that have happened around the world. Since its cultivation was greatly affected on this island, how you can see in the pic. For my part, this is all. This is all. So for I leave you with Diego, who we will be explaining another part of our website.
Good afternoon. My name is Diego del Villar. Here is my ID. And I'm going to talk to you about one of the solutions to global warming that we can see in our website. As we know, global warming is a problem that concerns all of us. In this part of the website, we can visualize some solutions that we understand can help this problem. It may not be much, but little by little we help. And one of the examples of the solutions we can see and visualize in the website is change home light. We can explain to the little ones that it is convenient to change the type of light, we use at home and at school, as well as in workplaces and shops. Because if we use one that pollutes less, we will be helping to reduce the increase in temperatures. You have to change normal bulbs for compact fluorescent ones, LED bulbs, and low consumption ones, which save about 400 kilos of CO2 per year, one of the most powerful greenhouse gases. We can also take care of the global warming by taking care of the trees, taking care of the trees, taking care of the forest, the woods, and all other stuff. Personally, I believe that global warming is a very sensitive issue that affects us, and if nothing is done to change it, the consequence will be horrible and irreversible. Global warming has been an issue that has been seen for a few decades and has been evolving and evolving. And with this progress, it has been destroying the lives of many animals and the ecosystem of the world, making human life more and more difficult. I feel that this issue should be taken more seriously because if we do not do something right now, in the future, we'll not be able to change it, and the consequence can become mortal to all living things on planet Earth. It is time to do something right for our common home, the Earth, because since humans populated the world, they have been doing and undoing without thinking about the damage they do to the ecosystems. They have not thought about the consequences. And now the generation of the moment has to deal with centuries and centuries of accumulation of abuse of the environment, and it's getting too late. In our view as a group, global warming is something that we must solve fast because we are short enough to live time on Earth. So we also provide some solutions that they are a little aware that we can do to help with this problem. Thank you for your attention and good afternoon.